Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching SA Today with me, Unathi Patyashe. Let's take you here now. The South African Cultural Observatory has announced an international lineup of expert speakers for the upcoming 4th SACO International Conference, comprising of leading brains in the cultural and creative economy in the African continent, Europe, Australia and the Americas. Now, the conference will be a hybrid event with opportunities offered for both in-person as well as virtual attendees. It will be held under the theme Creative Economy Reset, structuring the creative and cultural industries for a sustainable and inclusive future. Now, let's discuss this. We are now joined via Zoom by Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nocawe Mafu. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Unathi. And actually, I'm grateful that you have me on the show. Greetings to everybody that is watching.
Now, Deputy Minister, we saw just how the arts sector was hammered during the COVID-19 pandemic and some essentially losing their livelihoods. Now, as the custodian of the South African Cultural Observatory, what does a healthy creative economy mean for creative practitioners especially, and the economy of South Africa at large to an extent?
Thanks, Unathi, and thanks for that question. Look, we have to agree that many a times when we talk about the cultural economy or the creatives economy, it's something that it doesn't seem to be at the forefront of everybody's mind. And when you look the role that is played by the creatives in a GDP of the country and the general economic growth of a country, it's massive. But how massive it is, many a times we are not able to quantify it. That's why this conference, which is hosted by the South African Cultural Observatory, and with all the brains that you have mentioned from all over the world, is so critical, because actually it starts to look at the nuts and bolts of the role of the creative industry in the economy of any country and the role that it plays. Of course, we also know that the economy has been improving before COVID, and COVID came and hammered the creatives, and some of them were struggling to come up. That's why the theme of the conference is saying reset, because in essence, what we are trying to do is to say, here we are now, what is it that we can do, and what is it that the intellectuals in the world can assist economies, governments, to make sure that the cultural and the creatives are back on their feet and are playing a role in the economy of their countries.
Now, when you start to look at the role of the creatives, and as you say, this doesn't necessarily get the attention that it deserves, how does government's involvement, your department in particular, ensure then, that the South African Cultural Observatory meets its objectives and at the very core services this particular industry that is somewhat neglected?
Yes, Unathi. One thing that we've done, first of all, we are in partnership with the South African Cultural Observatory. We actually fund them. So whatever research that they are doing it on our behalf. That's one. But secondly, they have helped us in putting together what we call a creative master plan. Now, South African government decided that there are sectors that are critical to the economy if we really want to reset the economy. And out of those, creatives were one of them. And government said, can we put a master plan together? And the South African Cultural Observatory has assisted the department to put together that master plan. And that master plan has been approved by cabinet. It is actually now a policy document that has been approved by government. I think we've done very well on that score. What now is important is that how do we make sure that we implement that master plan? Because what that master plan talks about, it talks about the different domains of the creatives. Because many a times when we talk about creatives, a lot of people talk about the performing artists and the actors. There's more to creatives. There's visual arts, there's crafts, there's publishers, there's a lot of them. So we want to be able to say each domain must be able to be given the attention it deserves, because we have agreed and believe that creatives actually is one area that can reset the economy of any country. And South Africa is not different from that. We have looked, and the research that has come up has shown already that, for instance, Gauteng, 45% of the activity, creatives, is Gauteng, followed by Western Cape, followed by KwaZulu-Natal, which is not surprising because we know that those are the provinces that have got metros and population is big. But what then do we do to make sure that it doesn't stop in those provinces? The entire country, even your Eastern Cape, your Northern Cape, must be resetted to make sure that creatives everywhere, they are able to participate in the economy. They don't see the need that they must migrate and come to Gauteng because nothing is happening in Kimberley or East London.
Deputy Minister, just before I let you go, just one final question from me. Are you then making an undertaking that this conference in particular is not just a talk shop? Because we know, such conferences with great experts that have been lined up don't necessarily reach the audience in which, they are targeted for, in particular the creative practitioners. So are you then saying that some of the undertakings that you will make here, including the master plan that you speak of, will then be implemented as quickly as possible? And do you have specific timelines for that?
Definitely, Unati, I'm making that undertaking. One thing that we have also told the department is that that master plan must be made into booklets. Those small booklets that every creative can have a copy of that master plan, that they can put it in their pocket so that they are able to hold us accountable on things that they have learned, they have known. It must not be a master plan that is sitting in the offices of the intellectuals. It must be a master plan that even a lowly creative has got a copy of it, because at the end of the day, in the municipality, in the district, in the province, at national, everybody must be able to relate to that master plan, because we must all be in sync in terms of what we want to do for the creatives in the country. So I'm making that commitment, Unati, that this conference is not going to be a talk show.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Deputy Minister, for your time, and good luck on that conference, and we will definitely be following up on those undertakings. Of course, that was Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nocawe Mafu.